Hey, Bob, Phil, and Brad. Just with our conversation, we wanted to at least kind of give you guys a little bit of education on this as far as if you ever want your product to ever be something other than cash pay, kind of what this is. So, this is a coding book in health insurance, and Lisa's going to guide you through this a little bit here.
So if you guys have never looked at this book, so this is the HCPC book. This is where your Q codes live. So in here, there is actually a section for the skin substitutes. They started the Q4100. The Q4100 is just a miscellaneous, not otherwise specified. So the main thing about getting your guys' own Q code for your product is with these, if you look at the other ones below it, the other codes are specific to the product and specific to the brand name. So once that code's assigned, it can't be used for anything else. With the Q4100, since it's a miscellaneous code, 90% of the payers right now are set to auto adjudicate when a claim is received. That means a person never touches the claim, the computer does. When this miscellaneous code pops in, it will automatically put an edit in their system that kicks the claims back requesting more information. And that's probably 90% of your payers. With that, there's not really a set reimbursement set up for any one of these payers with this miscellaneous code.
So, for example, if I don't have my own HCPC code, which is a Q code, then basically I'm going to get set up right here under that
Right.
miscellaneous code, which, by the way, they probably already have their set reimbursements, which means that I don't get my own set reimbursement of what the insurance thinks I'm valued at.
Right, because they're not going to usually have a reimbursement rate set up for a miscellaneous code because there's thousands of different things that could be billed under that code.
And trying to get it paid off of that is just
Right.
a nightmare compared to actually having your own code.
And when you look at all the different skin substitutes, if you look, they're all very specific. Oasis, Integra, Dermagraft, Graft Jacket. So they're very specific to the product. So the only one, until you guys got your own Q code, you could only ever bill it as miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is always so much more difficult to get paid by a payer because it does auto adjudicate and just kick back. So it kind of works along the same lines as our implants at our surgery center. The payer will request a copy of product information, wanting to know exactly what that implant was, what that miscellaneous item was, and then a copy of the invoice. And then with the invoice, what they usually do is they'll pay, depending on your contracts. So we're set up where we get invoice plus 10% on some, or we get invoice times 3. So it just depends on the different contracts as to how those get reimbursed. So with that, the most single important thing you can do in order to get your products reimbursed and reimbursed easily is to get a set code.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
and
you're
guys,
miscellaneous and it will always just kick back and not adjudicate.
and the world of where this is going to stay as cash pay only is going to disappear. I mean, this is going to be something that is finally going to push through, and it's going to be reimbursed by insurance. And you guys don't want to be sitting on the outside looking in saying, "Oh crap, we don't have our own code."
You want your own code that you can get, because if you look up most of these codes here for like the Apligraph, Oasis, and whatnot, they are considered experimental and investigational in most payers' policies and not reimbursable. That's where having your own code, you can distinguish yourself from the others and really push to have your code as an exclusion to the payer's policies. So that way you're not working and getting benefit to just whoever might be billing under miscellaneous code. You're getting benefit for your specific product under your specific HCPC code so that you have a separate reimbursement in the payer's policies for it.
Right. So we're going to go ahead and do our research on the other stuff. We really do think, by the way, guys, that having a Q code does not make it to where you can't charge different amounts to different people based on volume and different things. But we're going to go ahead and do our research and make sure that we're correct, because that just doesn't seem right, especially being end users and also dealing with distributors and manufacturers all the time. And we know we have to negotiate for our prices all the time, and they almost all have Q codes.
That's why a lot of our DMA we get whatever our cost is plus, so whatever invoice is plus X percent, because there's never a set price, because the price is always changing depending on where we get the product from.
Yeah, and guys, I mean, literally all over the web, like the very first thing you do when you get a new piece of like new medical device or new, something like this, literally like one of the very first things you do is you get that revenue cycle and you get this stuff pushed through and you get yourself a Q code as fast as possible. So, hey, hopefully this helps, and hopefully we didn't bore you too much. and we'll catch you later.